All right. First of all, I'm really excited to be up here with all these guys. Jet, geez, for those that didn't hear, he traveled all the way here from the Philippines. This shut off on me.
Here, the white one's good.
All right, there we go. So yeah, farthest he's ever traveled. So we're happy to have him here. First time we have been able to have him here, so that was awesome. We tried to get as many people as we could come. Joel, you guys probably have spent a lot of time with Joel now. If you haven't gone through his stuff, absolutely brilliant. So he's kind of responsible for most of you anyway, sitting here today. He does a lot of the ads, helping get the funnels together. Jets also helps a lot with the funnel side and go high level, but he's just a genius with getting people into the funnel. And so there's a lot of training he's done on Facebook ads and showing you how to do that. And if you guys haven't noticed already, we're very transparent about what we do. So we don't really hide anything. We show you exactly what we've done, even to have you sitting here today. And if you haven't gone through some of that stuff, you should definitely check it out. You know, Jens, I don't know if you guys recognize the voice. Jens, he obviously is very, very talented and understands our stuff in and out. He spent a lot of time with many of you guys, invaluable resource on the team, and always willing to help. I think every time I see him, he's talking to somebody else trying to help him out here. So, and Frank, a newer member to the team, we really wanted somebody to head that affiliate side for Pro. So we're really excited to have him on board because it wasn't just trying to fill a position. Frank specializes in that. He's responsible for millions in sales and affiliate marketing, and that's what he does. That's what he lives, breathes, and eats. And not only that, but he's an amazing person. If you haven't noticed, or I hope you did, we have very amazing and genuine people getting on this stage and helping out, whether it was Chris, Rachel. We try to surround ourselves with good people, smart people, and I hope that shows. So we can spend some time like talking about Pro, answering questions, digging into how you can get the most out of it. I'm happy to answer any kind of questions that you have. One thing that I want to point out is the pivot that we've made recently. So on the Tuesday calls, I'm getting on a lot of them now. So I want to spend more time in the Pro community. We last call we were out of office, so we some of them I might not be on, but I'm trying to spend as much time as I can in Pro and deliver more content. So we want to hear from you guys, like what you want. I've been talking to some of you in the hallways and getting some really good ideas. Like even somebody had just mentioned to me, I won't say the name just because I didn't ask if I could say anything, but he just kind of said sometimes this stuff is a little fast. So like we're going through things and you're like, cursor's over here. Well, I'm still looking over here, and I need it to be a little slower. And so one of the things that I thought would be a really good idea is if we start to add scribe how to some of the trainings. So you guys have a detailed checklist of what we're doing, and you can see exactly where we click, exactly what we do every time we do something that makes sense to have that on. And I didn't show it at this event, so I know some of you are new. If you haven't used the tool Scribe How, it's not ours, but I recommend it. It's an amazing tool. It's called scribehow.com. And basically, because we'll be using this more for our trainings, you just turn it on your computer, and it has computer vision. It can see your screen, and it can read the buttons and everything. And you just turn it on, and it'll create a checklist step by step on every single thing that you do. So even if it's not like text, it's like a button or something, it can read the button and tell you, click that button, go to this URL next. And it's just a step-by-step checklist. And I encourage people to use it because a lot of people are growing their business. And what it's called is a SOP, so a standard operating procedure. And they're really good to have for your business for a couple reasons. The two top ones that I can think of is if you're trying to sell your business, typically, especially for a solopreneur, it's all upstairs, and so it doesn't really sell without you. And you don't really have anything sellable unless there is processes because you have to go along with it. So that's one thing if you want to exit game, but also you lose people that are important in your company sometimes. Maybe they get another position, maybe something happened, maybe they decided they had children and they decided to work from home, and whatever the case is, it's really easy to put somebody else in that role if there's a process that's step by step by step. And Scribehow just makes it so stupid simple that like you can't really mess it up. It just says do this, do this, do this, a checklist all the way down. So I'm going to start to add those. I think it'd be valuable. Maybe not with everything, but the stuff that it makes sense. And we're open to doing any kind of stuff like that. So you guys, if you don't know this yet, kind of control the community and control Pro. And you can use that power more than you probably know, because what you say means a lot to us. So the conversations we're having in the hallways when you say, I want this or that, we like really take that stuff seriously. The only time like we're probably not going to do something is if you're asking to add something that it's only going to benefit you or a couple people, and it's really not going to be useful for other people, because otherwise like we're just causing more confusion. So like one of the things even right now, we're trying to categorize better in Circle, because the feed sometimes just gets like obliterated with stuff. And it's all good, but just trying to categorize stuff better so it's easier for you guys to find. Sometimes it gets kind of lost in the mess. And you're trying to find like really good stuff, but there's so many posts going on because everybody in the community is posting that it gets buried. So, and Jens has been a great help with doing that. So anyway, I'll let you guys kind of chat a little bit too. You guys can ask some questions and just try to hash some stuff out. You got a question over here? Hold on.
Do we have a mic runner? Yeah.
I don't mind hopping out.
We got Brian's on it.
So I inherited Pro by becoming A3, so I haven't used it yet. So I understand this is kind of like the entry level into AI for business that we would either use or sell. And could you just briefly give high level what it gets you? Because I'm, with access to everything, I'm not really sure what this has.
Happy to. Pro.
You gonna take it?
Yeah, of course. Pro is our software suite and learning community. The Pro comes with, as Brian has talked about, a plethora of trainings, including our 12 Pro modules, which at the end of completion of all 12 Pro modules gets you the AI fundamentals certification. On top of that comes with our now weekly call with our Pro team, Ryan Hansen, myself, any speaker that we bring on, absolutely weekly, to bring you the best and foremost in AI. And with that is the Circle community for discussions, collaborations, the ability to work with one another, because we have so many just powerful minds in our community, in our business, and there's nothing that I don't see progressively inside of the community. On top of that is our software package. The software package is the AI for Business Pro Circle. That is the training community. It is the AI for Business app, and that is aiforbusinessapp.com. GHL, which stands for Go High Level, which is a all-encompassing marketing CRM and honestly business powerhouse platform. It is made to conversate with your leads, manage your business, create pipelines, create funnels, whatever aspect you need for your business digitally, it can typically handle. Lastly, comes with Closebot. Closebot is our premier chatbot system. There is one in GHL. Closebot is built by a good friend and an extremely powerful developer of ours by a gentleman named Bryce Decora. And he has built a system that does a ton of high-level prompt engineering in the background, so that everything that Closebot outputs is human-like conversation. And it's provided to us in a way that you can build your Closebots just through English and just through knowing how to connect it between GHL and Closebot. They go very, very hand in hand, and it's an extremely powerful system. And overall, that's the initial start, and it's almost all you need to launch a business, improve your business, or expand on existing business with AI as a pro, as an AI for Business Pro.
Just curious, who all in here is currently using GHL for like websites, funnels? Okay, wow. Okay, yeah. So like when you're like still using Wix, I use WordPress, but we're going to be switching to GHL. I work with a lot of clients that do anywhere between $1 million to $25 million a year, and they're all migrating into GHL right now. Some are in Salesforce, HubSpot. These are all too big in most, small businesses. So if you guys are looking for something that really is an all-in-one for page building, for setting up funnels, lead magnets, creating opportunities, a sales process, follow-up, that's what GHL is for you. So if you're kind of deciding on, should I use a ClickFunnels page? Should I use that page? GHL does all of that. And that's why they're winning right now. Yes, sir. Do you want to yell, or I can just...
That's going to go too.
Did
I ask you?
Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah, you first, and then we'll pass it down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Go ahead, sir.
okay. First of all, you guys are amazing. This is way over my expectations of what I expected. I'm an older guy, and I'm trying to figure out how to use AI. I had a major stroke just less than 2 years ago, and it's really my recovery was miraculous. Nobody thought I could walk or talk again for at least a year.
We're glad you're here, brother.
AI has been instrumental in helping me get back into business. It does so much for me. I also have a virtual assistant in the Philippines who's been really helpful. Like, I don't get it. And she's been explaining it. What I'm trying to figure out is, I think your program is amazing. Is there a way that she could also, with me, learn this? And then she's been so patient at explaining things to me and helping me understand it. Go High Level was, when I hired her in the Philippines, was one of the programs that they suggested as being instrumental at helping do this. But I guess what we're wondering, it just looks like the value of your program is so incredible with all of the connections to ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. Go High Level in itself is, but we weren't sure how to access it. Is there a way that maybe we could figure out?
So just so I can understand best, is regarding yourself and your VA, is there a way for her to easily access all the tools, everything accessible inside of Pro? It's a fantastic question. Thank you. And the answer is AI for Business Pro is meant for AI for business. Business is a unit. You, your business partners, your immediate family, your friends. Not immediate family and friends. However, if they are paramount to your business, you can provide them access, you provide them your logins, or you can send a message to our support team and we can help you get them access to the right tools or the relevant tools. For example, inside, and where this comes into place would be Circle primarily, is potentially giving them access to the training platform Circle. Two methods you can do. You can either provide them your existing logins and you can just log in simultaneously. That's one method you can use to share the knowledge, share the trainings, because once they're in and you provide them access to the calls, for example, one thing we do need to be aware of is just that they exist. So for anybody who doesn't have a business partner or a VAs that need help with the logins, please do send an email to support@airforbusiness.com letting us know that they exist, or that you need additional information or more convenience, because we can help you work with you on that if you don't want to share your login info up to a certain extent. So the answer is yes, we can treat you as a business unit in Pro with VAs.
In addition to that too, because somebody mentioned they didn't want to share the actual app and they wanted to get them like the same account. You don't have to spend another $100 for that. So they can get it, like Jens said, you can give them your login, share the credits, whatever, get them even an account with Circle. If you want them to have their own account with the app and get another 100,000 credits, it's not another $100. It's $20 to add team members and let them have their own account to the app. That's different than Circle, because Circle, we're just trying to help you guys. And the more people that you have on your team, the more successful you'll be. The more successful you'll be, the longer we're going to work together. So we encourage that. The reason we can't just add a bunch of people onto the app and give them their own credits for free is because it costs us money. In fact, just a heads up, because some of you might not know this, when you re-up on your credits, there is no markup whatsoever on that at all. So when you're spending the money, we're like just giving you at cost to make sure that you can continue to do what you got to do. So we're not marketing it up trying to make money on it. Literally, actually, we're losing a little bit of money because we didn't factor in the merchant cost to take the money. That was our bad. But I just want you to know that. and some of you might not have re-upped before. So it's I think $5 to get 50,000 credits. So it's not like another $100 to get another 100,000. That's factoring in all the stuff that you guys get. So.
Ball and I have my part. I have body, so they can see everything that they can't app. That they got in and they'd see me trainings like strategists. I couldn't find the piece for like $20. And does that give them the app that they can see so as a ticket, or do I have to buy another thing? Because I never paid $20 and they're all in it and I love it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay $20 to give them access to Circle. We just encourage that. The app is separate from Circle. So the Circle is the community, and then the app is the thing with all the tools in it. I believe it's the bottom left-hand corner. Is it the name, I think? And then you click on settings.
Yep. You would click on your profile, which,
Bottom left-hand corner.
in the AI for Business app, you would click on your profile, which is at the bottom of the screen. Under the settings, I believe there's team specifically, or it's accounts. And then there you can see your existing account, or you can input the email of a team member that you want to add and press add team member, and it will prompt you to add them for an additional 20. And just because I know you mentioned collaboration, each team member has a separate chat, separate communication, or separate account under the main one. Meaning that collaboration, if you want to collaborate using the same information, you would just share your login so they can all see the same chats or interact with the same history.
So my question is regarding the migration of the websites.
Yeah.
When you migrate, say, I'm with WordPress, does that carry everything over, like the plugins and set up like the same meta descriptions? Does everything translate, or would you lose some of those plugins that you already had set up?
So that actually depends on a lot of things. For the most part, plugins are not really carried over, but they might already exist within the GHL ecosystem. So what we usually do is we work around to provide the same functionality to what you're using for plugins. But like I said, they might already exist within the GHL system.
So is there a way you can preview it before you dive in, and all of a sudden you're like, well, crap, I just screwed up the site?
So usually before we actually start the migration, we actually have to go check in and see what you have set up in your original system or original platform, and try to see if we could migrate everything. Because like what you said, you will be in a bind if you've already moved a lot of the stuff and then can't move the rest of the stuff over.
Okay. And that sets up like the 404s and any like the orphan pages. Okay. 'Cause migrations are a nightmare.
I also want to mention something real quick too, because sometimes it's not the members right now, but sometimes people get a little hung up during our free 3-day event. I don't need actual GHL because I'm going to stay with my CRM or whatever. Just keep in mind, those are technically kind of bonuses. So you're really spending the $97, so about $25 a week to stay plugged in and get training. And what we wanted is to have you guys come in and be able to get training and show you cool ways to scale and enhance your business, but not have to go through our trainings and be like, oh man, now I got to buy all this stuff. Because we tried to put the foundational stuff that we use a lot. Not everybody uses everything. So some people use everything. I saw a lot of hands even go up for a go high level, but it's okay if you don't need something in there. Maybe you don't want to use the chatbot. Maybe you don't want to use go high level. Just use the tools that you need. We just tried to give you as many for free. So we weren't showing you all this stuff and you constantly have to keep buying stuff. Now, sometimes I'm going to show you something that might cost money, but I want to show you the stuff that we are using, the stuff that's cool. For instance, Lovable. It's not in the app. It's not very expensive to use. And frankly, after you get something up like that, it can be super powerful for your business. But I'll want to show you stuff sometimes that might not be in there. Now, I'd love to have Lovable in there and just I don't know what'll happen, but I'm trying to get something like that in the future. But Lovable is just such a big company. It's kind of hard to break through with some of those guys and try to figure out, especially when I want to integrate it, because they just don't have time for that. You know what I mean? The best I can do sometimes is get like a deal or try to get a discount or something with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention the real value is staying plugged in with us and just trying to use what we have. Now, if there's something in there that you've been wanting and it's not, make sure to tell us and we'll add it. Like, the golden nugget recently was I didn't realize that I could get you guys access to DeepSeek R1, which is an extremely powerful LLM, about equivalent to ChatGPT. And it's free. It doesn't go through any tokens. So you can burn it up in there and use it as much as you want. And it's not going to cost you any extra. It doesn't go through your tokens at all. We added VO3 by popular demand because everybody wanted it in there. That's very expensive. It's just expensive to use. It's not because of us. In fact, right now we're not marking that up at all either. So I think to make a video, it's about $6. But on the flip side of it, if you create an amazing commercial for your company, even if it took you like 3 tries and you didn't get it on the first one, imagine what that would have cost you to do if you paid somebody to do it, thousands of dollars. So it just kind of depends. Like some of the tools you really don't want to play with unless you have a real purpose for it. Like I wouldn't sit and use VO3 just to have fun. Unless you want to burn through cash and just have fun, go for it, But if you want to create an awesome advertisement, then I would drop some cash and do it, I think Jason, you had a question before that I missed. We referred off.
A follow-up on the gentleman here and the woman there, and then you mentioned pricing. My team in the Philippines are building out. Thank you for the online page, by the way. That they treat our company's money like their own, and they keep saying, "Well, how expensive is it to do this? How expensive is it to do that?" Is there anywhere where we can get like kind of the menu? Like DeepSeek is free, VO3 is expensive, and everything in between. The other part was, thank you for adding the team members. Is if they're hanging under us, can they see every knowledge center we create, or does everyone have to in sync for every app login? Do they have to? Do you say it gets back into the team member thing?
Yeah, sure. I don't believe it's shared. It's just it's not shared. It's just separate accounts managed by the parent account, so you can see the statistics around it. I do know that team collaboration is a huge project that we're working on. It's just requiring, it's a project for maybe early Q3 that's going to be coming out for it. Yeah, I'd recommend having like a shared Google Drive. Typically, if you're using Google Workspace, use those knowledge bases as the primary and then use them separately in your accounts for the separate apps. Exactly. 100%.
The other thing too is if you create an amazing super prompt, because they are amazing. We're getting a little redundant talking about it, but it is what it is. It's awesome. We can make it so everybody has it and access to it as a tool. Or if you want me to create one that you think everybody can use, that's how the first handful of them up started, by request. So just let me know if it doesn't take me long to make them. So it's not like I'm like, oh man, they're asking for another tool again. I could probably have one up, 10 minutes or so. So if you have good ideas, let me know.
It's interesting. I had a conversation recently with Brian. Out of curiosity, who here has gone through Devin McPaul's AI prompt certification? So the way that the world's moving right now, and it's even happened just recently, is that when we started, Devin McPaul, the prompt engineering was the skill you need to know, is knowing prompt engineering. Think about what's going on right now. Think about the power of these prompts that we had to go through the prompt engineering certification to get to, or to promote the same level of prompts that's being done by ClickButton by Brian. And I feel like it feels like it's only been a couple months, but I feel like a crotchety old man. It's like these kids these days, they just push a button, they got a super prompt. It's such an interesting time. But I said that to say that you guys have a lot of power in your hands right now. These prompts are something else, and it's only getting better.
I hate to say it because Devin is just brilliant. and he is one of the best prompt engineers. And in fact, tomorrow you're going to hear from the co-founder of ClickUp. They're no joke. That's a huge company, one of the biggest AI companies, valued at $4 billion. Devin did their prompts. Like, they hired him to consult with the team. We're talking about like an AI company. They know prompting really well at ClickUp. But they hired Devin. Lavender hired Devin. Seamless hired Devin. Like, massive AI companies kept hiring him. Just to have him teaching that felt like an honor. Because, there's a lot of people teaching prompting courses. We had like an ace. Now it's like, I don't even know if I should have it in the free 3-day anymore. Because like, we can just teach people to push a button now. And they're like Devin McPaul level. And so, like he said, it's just kind of crazy. And I would rather teach somebody to press a button than sit through hours of training. We kept it in there for right now because I think it's important to learn the skill and understand how to do it. Even just doing the basic prompt, it kind of helps to understand the skill set. But the more we move, I always say that term that I didn't coin, like somebody else thought of it, but today is the worst AI is ever going to be. And as you're learning it, you're going to have the hardest time right now, like with the stuff, it just keeps getting easier and easier. But as it keeps excelling, when you're using the tools, you're on top of it the day that stuff comes out because you're already using it. Everybody else hasn't even found out about the tool yet. And then they got to figure out how to use it. You're just so much farther ahead. So I'm so happy all you guys are here. This is awesome. So
Good. We're good. Just
Hey, I'm sorry to ask such an elementary question, but I've been a member for a couple of months. I haven't really been digging in, but I'm starting now. How do we get to our Go High Level and close bot accounts and all that stuff? And how do we access that?
great question. So, how recently did you sign up?
It's been a couple months, but like I said, I haven't really done anything with it. So
Okay.
This is my first foray into it.
So, just across the board, whenever you sign up, you typically receive about 4 separate emails regarding signups for the account. One of the biggest things, and I'll actually give you a hint of what's kind of going on in the background, is that these are all powerful tools that we use for our business. What we wanted to give you with Pro was what we use for our business. We use CloseBot, we use GHL, we use Circle, we use the community. We're giving you what we use. What that means, though, is that these are 4 separate softwares that we use synergistically with each other. These require 4 different logins. It's necessary for these separate accounts. I said that to say, how do you log in? Now, if you have not logged in, if you don't know where the emails are, the best place you can go right now is to aiforbusiness.circle.so. That is aiforbusiness.circle.so. What you need to do is remember the email that you signed up or purchased with, and then log in with that email or do forgot password. That is going to log you into the Circle, and Circle is our training platform. If you hear us refer to Circle, if you hear anything about Circle, that is the training platform and community platform. So just to finish off your question, once you log in to this platform, you're going to see multiple areas to get started. Where you're going to look for is inside the training platform. You're going to either go to the Pro area, and it's called a Pro space. You're just going to scroll down to an area called Pros Start Here, or you're going to actually just receive a DM from me if you have not logged in yet, and my DM is going to tell you, hey, go right here. And just follow the instructions and Pros Start Here. That's the best recommendation. Are you on it? Are you good? Beautiful. Awesome. Follow the instructions. It'll guide you through. And then for anybody facing any issues or, the account's not working, we have a email support team on standby. I believe we have, I think they're still working. Typically it's all hands on deck for live events. But yeah, get them in or just get an email in regarding it. We're happy to help you out. But to give you a hint, for one of our next projects, we've called it Project Command Center. And Project Command Center is a single sign-on, single location, so you don't have to go to different areas, or you have one centered area and browser or just a domain that you can go to. And hey, I don't know where GHL is, I don't know where Circle is. You go to one spot, one place, and it just directs you out. We're excited to unveil it here soon, but hope that helps. question over here or over here?
Hi. So I'm setting up a membership site and I'm curious why you use Circle versus Go High Level.
Great question. So actually, Brian, were you part of the conversation when we first chose to go to Circle from GHL?
Yeah, so when we first started out, we were migrating over to Go High Level and just found Circle to be superior over Go High Level. And we were looking at everything. We were keeping our options open with School, and there's a lot of different platforms. School's also a great platform. Circle's just a little bit more robust, and we just liked the layout of it. So we had some peers in the space also using it. It was just the better choice. We were trying to figure out like what's going to be the best for you ultimately. It would have been easier, cheaper, and everything else to stay on Go High Level. But we just felt like it was going to be better for everybody. So,
and just to put a comment on that, Go High Level recently in 2025 updated its features, its easeability of use, and it's
been better. It is better.
It's much better. I had a commenter. I was having a conversation with Francis. Had we had GHL's version of the membership back when we were making the decision between Circle, we would have kept.
We would have done on Go High Level, yeah.
But now I believe Evening is close to. I think we've got 4,000. I mean, it's 1,000 pros, 4,000 plus. It's a lot of people to move out. I mean, you guys can imagine trying to adapt to a whole new system again, huh? So I say that to say, I guess it'd just be it wouldn't be too feasible to go back, but we'd choose.
We put a lot of thought into it. and speaking of Circle, by the way, you guys can also lead that. Like if you, as you can tell, we know a lot of people in the space as well. If there's like a certain topic or something you're burning to learn and we might not have it on the schedule, just let us know. I'm open to tapping somebody to hop on the calls. In fact, I asked Jens if his father would hop on. He's a former Navy SEAL and leadership speaker. You can kind of tell Jens is always on a mission. Comes from the family. But if there's something that you guys want to learn, we're happy to add that in, and I'll make some calls and make it happen. It might be something we can teach, you know? It just kind of depends on the topic. But even if it's out of our wheelhouse or anything like that, we typically have a solution for everything when it comes to getting you guys trained up.
I've got a quick question for you, but first I want to thank you. I think what you guys have done in the last 6 months have been a phenomenal transformation. So I'm sold. I run a nonprofit, and I think it would be really interesting to possibly pool some of the people here because educators and nonprofit have a different need with AI. And I think the videos and the HeyGen and VO3, that would be really helpful to educators and nonprofits. So if we could think a little bit at when the time is available to move from money to philanthropy. Just
great. Yeah, love that.
Count on me to help.
You know, that we actually have several people that have a wealth of knowledge on nonprofits. Maybe because it's growing so much, I might even look at making a section for that.
Yeah.
And by the way,
we've got some representatives.
Oh, we got several people. So I would imagine most of you might know, but just in case you don't, or maybe you're thinking about opening a nonprofit, you probably don't know. But Google for years now, but they still do it. Google.com/grants. As long as you can prove that you are a real nonprofit, you have to submit. It's very easy. You just have to prove you're a nonprofit. They'll give you $10,000 a month in free advertising. And I believe, I got to check because I'm not a nonprofit right now, although we are looking at the possible launch at that. We're looking at a AI for kids kind of thing. But if you followed the instructions and went through all the hoops, and had I don't know if you have to have a certified person manage it. There was some rules, but I think you could get up to 40,000. But even $10,000 a month of free advertising is pretty awesome. I will say there was some rules because I got people signed up for it several times where I don't think you can bid on keywords like over $3 or something like that. There's little things to it, but $10,000 in free ads is $10,000 in free ads. So it's super helpful.
Cool. 2 quick things for you. Lovable, we cover that a lot. That versus Replit. Where are they right now at this point in time? So the app was built on Replit. And then secondly, for the deep research, Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, right now, I know you're into that, Brian. Looking at how would you rank them right now?
Whew.
So I'm constantly
You always
bouncing
come with
around.
the hard ones, don't you? So I think as far as the platforms go, the app building platforms, there's a lot of great platforms out there. There's Replit, there's Bolt, there's Lovable, there's Emergent. I love Emergent, by the way, but it's hard to get access to, so that's why I don't talk about it a lot. I liked Lovable just because it seemed like the easiest one that just connected to Supabase and everything just so easily that teaching it, I wanted to make sure that I tried to teach something that everybody could do really easily without having a lot of questions. We're actually going to teach on Replit at this event. So Ian's coming in, and Ian's a beast at Replit. That's all he uses is Replit and Claude, and mostly those two. I'm going to be a student in that class. Ian knows way more than me about coding, vibe coding. He actually understands code though, so he can read it. And there's also another tool out there that we don't typically talk about because it would probably not be useful for you. You do need a level of understanding of code, is Cursor. If you understand code, it's quite a beast as well. But yeah, Replit's top of the line. I just found it a little bit harder than Lovable. They've come a long ways since I used it last, so they've added so much stuff that it might be. Ian's telling me it's just as easy. I think it's a matter of preference. So, as far as the deep research side, I can't give you a definitive answer. Like ChatGPT 03 Pro just came out, awesome. I just hate waiting for it because it takes forever to finish. Perplexity is come so far. They've added all this stuff in and Perplexity Financial, and they even have all the records of the SEC and stuff in there now. I would say that the reasoning model I use the most is probably Opus 4 with Claude. It's just fast. It gives me good answers. And I tend to keep going back to it. So that's the power mode inside of our tool, by the way. But
search, bottom left. The question was, how do you use research, or how do you search the internet in the AI for Business app? Yeah, bottom left of the search bar, there's a search feature. There's research, there's deep research. It literally just says
that's Perplexity.
Perplexity, yeah. But yeah, for anybody else that didn't know that your app can research the internet, it is we have our models that is your LLM or large language model of choice at the top right of the screen. At the bottom left near the search bar, there's that magnifying glass or search feature. That search feature takes your prompt or your query, whatever question you ask, and then sends it out to the internet to pull that information for your response using Perplexity Pro.
Just so you know, we're going through a shift. So LLMs, what you're seeing right now is the new OS, the new operating system. It's here. It's taking over where search as you knew it, go Google it, is starting to go away. And honestly, Google probably would have been history because it seemed like they were kind of snail pace there. Now they're catching up in a big way. So I don't think Google's going away. They're just morphing into an LLM like a ChatGPT basically. But we're seeing a shift right now where nothing's ever going to be the same again. So it's taken a little bit for everybody to realize it, but our world is morphing into AI. And everything I was saying yesterday, it's crazy. It's kind of circular, where you have students cheating on papers using ChatGPT, and then you have teachers running it through a checker to see if they cheated. And you have lawyers using Case and different AI tools to write their stuff because it's making it so much easier. And then you have their clients running it through ChatGPT to break it down in layman's terms so they know what the hell they're reading. And it's just everybody's starting to use AI for almost everything. And I want to remind everybody too, because I always get I'm just immune to all this stuff, so it doesn't matter. I don't even do anything online. I'm a welder or whatever. They're building bots that are complete engineering teams that weld, that do all that stuff. BMW just launched another plant in Germany where they're building all the cars. There's hundreds of thousands of bots being built right now by several companies. It's not just Tesla. So like Figure is creating them. There's Unitree. In fact, we were going to have a robot dog here, and we bought it. It's stuck in California in customs right now. Probably Vegas will have a humanoid bots walking around, I hope. But it was supposed to be here. That would have been kind of cool. But I don't know what.
The human error. If it was AI, it would be here.
But you're going to see robots like walking around with this very soon here. Like they're already out there, but it's rare to see them. Next year is going to be a different story. And, some people are super against it. I can't wait to be looking out the window while my robot's mowing my lawn, folding my laundry, doing my dishes. I'm very in on it.
Have you seen the lawnmower Roombas that
Yes. They actually do have bot lawnmowers, but they're going to be walking around.
Cool stuff.
Vegas, we are not going to give a definitive date, but we're looking at November. I just don't want to do that until the venue's booked.
Yeah.
Because people start booking flights, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going West Coast. And it's probably going to be much bigger than this one, by the way. If you saw how much this has grown since Jacksonville. Sorry.
I think we've got one question over here on the left. Alex, do you have one?
By the way, I just read in the next 6 months to 12 months max, we're going to be able to do an implant that makes people that are completely blind see again. Beautiful. Which is crazy. We've already seen some implants happen where people that are paralyzed start to move again or start to be able to speak through their mind, which is it feels like Jedi Force or something.
It's crazy, isn't it?
A lot of stuff is changing right now.
Fantastic. I believe we have...
Oh, is it on? Oh, it's on. Hi. First of all, Brian, I got you earlier. I love you guys. I feel like I grew a new part of my brain because of you guys. So thank you for being givers. Regarding Pro, it's a little loud, but if I have a marketing agency, I can only create one avatar in there, or can I create multiple avatars for all my clients?
Multiple.
I can. So I could create, if I have a BPO company, if I have a coach, I can create different profiles in there. That's my question?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I had my client sign up for Pro, but she has a GHL with another account. How easy is it for her to transfer everything in, including all of her automations, into your CRM?
Click of a button for transferring. Actually,
do you do that? Does GHL do that?
So, one question: did she has the other account directly with JHL or with another agency?
Another agency.
So, two things. One, if the other agency will allow the sub-account transfer, it's literally one click.
Okay.
But if they won't allow the transfer, we could try asking them for snapshots. If they won't allow the snapshots, then the last resort would be to do an actual migration.
Okay.
But if, like you said, they're going to allow the transfer, it's one click. We accept it from our end, and it's right over at our end, pretty much.
I will be reaching out regarding that. Last question: is CloseBot included or is it extra?
It's included. And by the way, we love CloseBot. In fact, the logo of CloseBot we made for Bryce, we're actually going to, when I saw it, I was just like, I've been building like bots and testing them all. Like, this one's crazy. But yes, it is included. So we include that as well.
That's amazing.
I love it when I hear the question of like go high level, somebody paying for it, because then Pro's basically free.
Yeah.
It like almost sounds like I'm not telling the truth when I say like you can go directly to them and it's $97.
Yes.
Because it really is,
I pay $97 with another account. Thank you, guys.
First, I'd like to say you guys are great. This whole program is great. I have a few questions. Something mundane first. On the $20 issue when you had a member, you have it on a monthly basis. Did you also put in a yearly basis for that to just make it easier?
Yeah, I can input it, or I can ask the end to.
Yeah, this way it's just it's just an annoying thing of sending out $20 a month. That was a simple question. If we have a high-level e-commerce site in an older web environment, say Joomla, can the AI for Business CRM be linked to the Joomla environment so the security that the Joomla has still utilize the capabilities of the CRM environment?
Can you say, was that the security can you utilize or just the site can
No, the
utilize?
site itself.
Yeah, there's ways to embed functionality. If you think about a website, it's just a place that, number one, stores presentable information and then takes data and then outputs data. So I said that to say that inside of your site, wherever you have like a form or a button, you can create pages or funnels inside of GHL or forms and then just put them on your site called embedding.
Got it. So it's just point to them and they work.
Exactly. So, if somebody's like filling out an information form, it's a GHL form. It's on your site. It looks good. You can design it to look like how it needs to. It's on GHL. It collects the information, and that's all that matters.
Great. So all the functionality of the CRM environment, we could basically embed somewhere.
Yeah. If you don't want to recreate the site and then you just want to embed buttons, tools, forms, you can do that.
Yeah. Well, there's classes that were given and they were certified. So to change a site, that they got to go through all the certifications and all that again. So.
Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Another question is, in general, in security of AI, you guys have any bots that actually could scan to make sure that the information that you put into the AI environment is secure? Because part of the things I see in business, what's great about this is really talk about new business, but AI is actually a very insecure environment to do really high level super sauce of a company, because that company, if he puts it into one of the 7 AIs that are out there, the owners could literally, do bots to scan all that data that they have, and that small business could be ripped off without even knowing that they were ever ripped off. So, that's the one downside I see with AI. And it's funny, while we were doing this talk today, I was running through the different AIs and I asked all of them what they feel about security, and every one of them answered that it's a problem. But you guys, one of the reasons why I'm here is you actually mentioned there's a program, Llama or Llama.
Oh,
right, which allows you to bring AI into on site again. Because it's, again, you're talking about all this cycles of business and stuff, when we're going to the GPU computers and stuff. I believe that we're going to have to see the LLMs inside a business for them to actually accept the AI at a level that it could actually do the real work of the business, unless the whole business is there. Because otherwise you don't have security and you don't know whether you're doing it. Because right now in the U.S., the business espionage is at the highest point it's ever been. So any comments on that?
Okay, so for that final question, who here understood everything that we just talked about regarding security? We got 2 hands, 3 hands? Okay, so so what he just asked was the nature of security with AI, inputting information, how is it being used by larger LLMs? What are the nature as a small business owner? If you're providing information to an LLM, can you get your business ideas taken? Can it be a matter of losing the nature of, or the copyright to certain ideas if you're using an LLM? We in this current stage are in the Wild West of AI. Nobody wants to own what's generated out of AI because, number one, it's kind of, as you understand, some prompts or some generations of AI can be inaccurate. It's just the nature of how information connects sometimes. And what that means is that when you are prompting, it can be put into this absolute sea of information. But I think one thing that we perceive or what they don't, I don't believe that there is any provider maliciously looking for specific business ideas, or if your idea is good enough to be copied, it's a pat on the back for you. But at that point, anytime you prompt or provide an idea to the LM, you have to multiply yourself by, we're getting to hundreds of millions, almost a billion. I don't know if there's a billion. I'm sure there's almost maybe a few hundred AI million users, times that by X amount of seconds out of X amount of days, and the information you provide is probably less than, I guess, a grain of sand or a molecule on this floor compared to the whole ocean. Unless you hold government secrets, nuclear launch codes, that's probably that's an absolute no-no. But go ahead.
No, when you're done.
Yeah, and it's so I would not be afraid that a large company is going to take after your startup idea or build a startup, because they're not in the nature, or they're not in the business of doing so.
Yeah, I wasn't actually worrying about that level of a business.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, just Olama, there is a wave coming that is building AI that is isolated from large providers. Olama is just a LLM that's for local models. And then there are two programs that I recommend. Olama is a LLM for local models. LM Studio is a app you can download to run local models, if that's your interest.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
That's a wrap for this episode of the AI for Business podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit subscribe and pass it along to a friend or colleague. We appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you in the next one.